How about this? How about I start you off with 5 supplements that can help to regulate and decrease cortisol better? Because a lot of times when our cortisol is high, we do not have these, we are deficient in these, our body is using these up because it is in such a high stress state. So some of these you've heard of, and some of these you probably haven't, so this may be new information. So one of the first ones for me is a B complex. And not just any kind of B complex, it's basically like a stress B complex or a B complex with a higher B5. The most important one is going to be B5, because B5, that is going to be essential for your adrenal gland, because it helps your adrenal gland produce hormones, helps produce cortisol, but also helps to ensure that the adrenal gland does not produce too much cortisol. And a lot of times when we are deficient, we become deficient in B5 and our body is just overproducing cortisol, and every little stimuli is making your adrenal gland release that. And what B5 is going to help you do is to regulate that and mitigate that so that it can have better control on the release of cortisol. B5 is also necessary to help you recover from stress. You need that. You need that recovery from stress, because a lot of us aren't recovering well. So a lot of times when I talk about B5, it might be 300 to 500 milligrams daily. So next we're going to look at vitamin C. And we're looking at the supplement because our body, when it is in stress, it is going to use up so many vitamins and minerals because it's trying to do double the work. It's trying to make sure your heart is fine, everything else is fine, and it's not taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. So a lot of those nutrients are being used up. That's why you're so hungry. Vitamin C is going to be another important one. Because yes, vitamin C is a vitamin, but it also has this antioxidant power, and a strong antioxidant power. That's going to help with your blood vessels, help with your nervous system, also help with your immune system. And your immune system usually is decreased and goes down when cortisol is rise. It has that that antioxidant power allows it to have that to work on that oxidative damage and decrease inflammation. And that's something that's big in cortisol. You're going to have sometimes a low level of inflammation. It can be a small amount of inflammation, but it'll be inflammation all over the body because of cortisol. And sometimes it may be big. So it's a great anti-inflammatory. The next one is a mineral that we all talk about. You hear it all day. You see it in one of those supplements, magnesium. Magnesium is going to be necessary because magnesium is in over 300 processes in the body, but it's necessary for your sleep-wake cycles, for your mood. It helps to reduce muscle tension. A lot of times when your eye is twitching, that means you need more magnesium. You have muscles twitching in your shoulder and your arm, you're low on magnesium. It helps regulate neurotransmitters in the brain, so that a lot of times another way to get magnesium is taking like magnesium L-threonate, or taking a combination of glycinate and L-threonate will be helpful. And usually when it comes to magnesium, you probably need about 300 to 400 milligrams so that you can get enough magnesium, because your body is using it up for those muscles, for that mood, to help you sleep, because when cortisol is high, you are not going to be able to sleep very well. Next, we have an herb, Schisandra. I know y'all are probably like, what about ashwagandha? I say Schisandra rather than ashwagandha because what happens with ashwagandha is it gives you a little bit more testosterone. So I see Schisandra going to be working. It's probably going to work better for women when it comes to stress, because not only does it help balance it's an adaptogen to help you adapt to stress better, but it also helps balance hormones like progesterone and estrogen, which usually is affected by increased cortisol and by any type of stress. It also has antioxidant power. It's liver protective. It helps to support hormone detoxification, which a lot of times when your cortisol is high, your liver is not trying to do any detoxification, because detoxification takes work, and it's trying to do the regular work to break foods down, to give you energy and to do other things you need. And detoxification is going to be important to get a lot of those hormones out that may get caught up due to stress. And last but not least, we always talk about this, vitamin D3. And the reason vitamin D3 is going to be important, it's going to help reduce stress. It's a sunshine vitamin. It helps with mood. It helps improve energy. It's necessary for mental health, and also to improve resilience in mental health. Not just guide you through mental health, but the resilience, the bounce back. It helps prevent a lot of depression and anxiety that comes along, muscle cramps, fatigue. It just has antioxidant properties that help with the brain tissue. And vitamin D, you can go out, but a lot of times you're going to need more vitamin D. When it comes to high cortisol, you're going to need more vitamin D. You're going to need not just 5,000 units, maybe start at 10,000 being your 5,000 to 10,000 may be something that you need to look at. Because remember, when you are stressed, a lot of those minerals and vitamins are deficient because your body is using them up because it's in survival mode. So next, we're going to go through ways of how to deal in stress. how to regulate your own body, regulate your nervous system, some other things that aren't supplements, but that'll help you and help your nervous system and your body deal in stress and bring your cortisol down. Because a lot of times it may have to do with the activities you're doing or how you're doing those activities.